Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spinner Rack, and I just got through watching Wonder Woman 1984 on HBO Max. Now, I have a couple things here, a book of Wonder Woman, and also have this Alex Ross Wonder Woman. This sort of, but this they didn't use this outfit. They used this outfit here, the W on the, you know, slightly different skirt and whatnot, but so the same headdress. I don't think she had the shield just in this one. But ultimately, we had the new Wonder Woman streaming on HBO Max, right? So in this movie, let me see. This is a well, there's only be one sort of thing giving you a hook of the story. If you've seen some of the initial thing where they showed you some of the beginning of it, the beginning contest is like the American Ninja, Iron Man, what are they called? Amazon Challenge. It's way bigger than anything you've seen on television. It doesn't go into the wipeout territory, but it's a very cool Amazon scene to start out the movie and sort of give you the framework of what's going to happen in this next part of the story, at least for Diana. But we get to see the Amazons once again, all our classic Amazons. I think it's Artemis and obviously Hippolyta. So once you get past that, we get to 1984, where Wonder Woman is an archivist. She works in a museum in D.C. Now, this is not Boston like in the George Perez series, but this is close. It's getting closer. So she could have, I mean, she was in Paris in the Justice League movies, I believe. So she's in DC, so she's had multiple jobs around, I guess around the world. So in this one we start and we see it starts off with a heist of trying to find these artifacts that are in this jewelry store. They have a black market sort of thing. And Wonder Woman, we've seen them all in the trailer, so it's not giving away anything that there's going to be this big fight in the trailer, that the big fight at the mall. But we've seen it in Stranger Things. So we're like, Stranger Things kind of killed the mall aspect, and Wonder Woman was like, no, we're going to show you some cool stuff, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of action, and that first two sort of sequences are very heavy action, action sequences before we're introduced to Barbara Minerva, who is sort of like the similar thing that you see in like Iron Man 3 or the Amazing Spider-Man 2, where you have sort of this nerdy character coming to the fold. But this one is a little different in the interaction with Wonder Woman. Because Wonder Woman, I guess to say, she's living as Diana Prince, and she has this, but she kind of operates the way the John Byrne Superman worked, the way the Smallville Superman worked, where this character sort of does things, and it's like a mutual sort of thing with the people that they're not sort of letting you know what's going on with Wonder Woman during these times and ages. So in this story, Barbara Minerva comes. There's some cool artifact, and we also see Diana Prince's her skill as far as the archivist. She looks at this thing. She's able to read insignia. She knows many languages. And it says something about wishes. And this kind of keys you into what this story is going to be about. And Wonder Woman just, casually thinks about a wish. Obviously, Barbara Minerva, she has a moment where she has this moment. And then they also introduce a character called Maxwell Lord. He's immediately brought in. He has these TV commercials, but he comes to this museum and he wants to find out about the art, these artifacts, and he wants to give money to this museum. So when there's going to be this party, Wonder Woman's not big on this party, but she leaves this little thread that's going to bring her to this party, right? And as we go along, we find out that things with Maxwell Lord isn't how they seem. Stuff with Barbara Minerva is kind of changing. So for these three characters, and these are the three characters that are sort of the main characters in this story, we get to follow all of their arcs, which is very rare in a movie. Because anyone talks about Magneto or Magneto having a great backstory and all this other stuff, but we rarely get to see it. We get to see a flashback, but really see that character that has this harsh past get this sort of backstory, get stuff happening on camera is very powerful. And this is what this story really does. So as you go along, this whole wish aspect that happens with Maxwell Lord, which happens with Barbara Minerva, and which happens with Wonder Woman, all comes to a head at this night of the party. And Wonder Woman, of course, we've seen in the trailer that Steve Trevor comes back. And this seemed to be connected to the wish, or possibly to the wish that Wonder Woman made. So she wants to investigate this and to sort of figure this out. So Barbara Minerva, her wish is kind of, hey, to be like Diana Prince. And she unknowingly gets more confident, gets more powerful. And then Maxwell Lord has this, has his business, and things turn around for him at the same time too. So as this goes along, any more giving you away stuff will give you the whole movie. To ultimately say that Wonder Woman is severely challenged throughout this movie, things get a lot tougher for her and her relationship with Steve Trevor. So this, as far as a superhero movie, is not a thing of a character doubting themselves and just having a challenge that which is really rare to see in these movies. Not a challenge of I got to save a friend or I got to protect a friend or that sort of thing. A point where the character might be wrong in her choice, but she really wants it to be that way. So that's a powerful thing. For Barbara Minerva, she's on a different angle where she wants something and she likes what she's getting and she doesn't matter the cost. And we have Maxwell Lord, who is more interested in power than anything else, which of course is not just Wonder Woman, but there's some casualties in his life too. So, and not give you anything else as far as what's going on, because that would spoil everything and spoil the fun, the action, the surprises that are all in this. That's as much as I'm going to give you this, but I will give you one other thing. This movie is very similar to Superman 2. And you say, no, Superman 2 has 3 Kryptonian villains versus 1 Superman. So you need to see 3 Amazonian villains versus Wonder Woman. This is not that. This is definitely not that, but it does have the relationship part, where Superman 2, Superman had to give up his powers for his relationship. And this Wonder Woman 1984 kind of does something similar to that, but not to the effects of the way Superman 2 sort of said, without the powers of Superman, Clark Kent would be sort of nothing and a nobody and couldn't figure out how to save the world, which is what we would guess. So it's kind of either have one or the other, that sort of thing. He's able to save the world, but he can't have a romantic life. Whereas the Wonder Woman doesn't play it exactly, but it's that same, this relationship thing connected to what the challenge of the story. So that's the one part where it's similar to that. And the other part would be, if you look at Superman 2, they decided that Superman's weakness was the humans, that the humans was Superman's ultimate weakness, and that would ultimately could kill him or could cause him to give up and allow the whole world to be taken over by those monsters. So in this story, not to give away too much, Wonder Woman is in a place where the public, like her, is struggling with the effects of these wishes. So how do you, when the public is part of the problem, as it was that Wonder Woman struggled with the same problem, everyone in the world struggled with this problem. So it's like, how would Wonder Woman be able to change the public, where the public is now going through the same struggles that the three lead characters are going through? And they just decided to answer that in a different way. They try to find a different answer to that. So I I recommend this. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of action. I, kind of missed one. I wish they kind of put it. I wish I saw this in the theaters. But I mean, as far as superhero movies go, this is going back to the old days where it's a lead character, basically one love interest, and it just goes right into the action. Sort of that solo character, that solo movie character. So a lot of movies have this thing where they have friends and buddies throughout the story. And this one kind of is a point where Wonder Woman is alone at points. And she has to deal with that solitude in this movie, which a lot of movies have, have dealt with. That was usually the struggle in the movie. And Wonder Woman, has to be the hero and make hard decisions. So with that said, this is another solid one. It was another fun one, and it's a recommend for me. If you have to buy the HBO Max, you'll it's gonna be there for I think 30 days they said. So check it out when you can. Spinner Rack out.